Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting back into? The Ultimatum South Africa. We are now on episode 8, The Last Dance. And it is going to lift off where I'd explained in my previous episode the situation between Ruth and Isaac and the ring. But before we get into that episode, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on it and doing videos. Please comment, like, share and all that good stuff because I am on the road to 1K. Anyway, let's talk about this episode. So Ruth is literally blinded by this ring. As I already said, I believe Isaac had an ulterior motive in showing Ruth this ring, basically, and I think Ruth has kind of cottoned on to that fact. She tried to talk to Isaac, but Isaac was basically telling her how hurt he was feeling, but he still had in the back of his mind that he was still coming back to Ruth. So Isaac basically said that he made up his mind in getting this ring that he was coming out of here with Ruth. I don't necessarily think that's true. I'm going to put that out there. I really don't necessarily think that's true. I think because he knows he's got Ruth where he wants her right now. Yeah, especially with the displaying of the ring. Because at first, Ruth was not acknowledging the hurt of Isaac, or she was, but she was letting him know. But actually, you've done X, Y, and Z. He was not accepting what she was saying. So he needed to bring her back to where it was that he needed to prove a point. So that's the reason why he brought that ring out. So now Ruth is kind of like backtracking on everything, and that's where he wants her. He wants her in confused city at the end of the day. So it sets off a chain reaction in the fact that Ruth readily admitting that she's fucked up, and as she's saying that she went with what she thought she knew, not what she knew at the end of the day. And as I said, it's a case of Isaac's basically saying, this is what you're missing out on. This is where I was. Do you know what I mean? We've been together for 2 years. You ain't met my family. But this is where I was. I brought a ring for you. So he was expecting that change. Make no mistake about it. Guys can play games just as good as some women can do. Let's just put that out there. So we see Ruth and Siza meet because Ruth and Siza do get on. Ruth explains to Siza what happened with Isaac. And basically Siza does turn around and say that, you know what, it's pressure, because the pressure is now getting worse. And that's what that ring represented, was little bit of pressure on Ruth to make her think, to make her change the way that she thought, to come back in line into what Isaac was thinking and feeling, and to make it about him. That's what that ring represented at the end of the day. He didn't get that out of no good gesture. There was a motive behind the means of him bringing that out, which I've already explained. So Siza speaks her mind in regards to the Thabi situation and the gift that she left Lindilly, and the fact that she took the gift back because he didn't. She told him to take the gift back. He said that he would. A couple of days later, the gift is still there. So Siza took it upon herself to take the gift back, and I applaud her for that at the end of the day, because Thabi was out of her remit to come in that gal's home to give her man a gift that she could have gave to her when she was with her when they were together, in the 3 weeks that they were together. That was your time with Lindilly. Yeah, outside of the 3 weeks, that's no longer Thabi's time, it's Siza's time. So for her to encroach on that time the way Lindilly encroached on Thabi's time with Genesis by leaving that fucking teddy bear there was a strategic plan at the end of the day. We see you. We see you both. Don't get it twisted. We see you. So Ruth then believes that Thabi loves Lindilly. I believe that too. I believe Thabi loves Lindilly and Lindilly loves Thabi at the end of the day, but they just ain't put words to the emotions that they're feeling about each other. So basically, Siza is saying if they want to be together, then they should be, because Siza is at a point at the end of the day where she's ready to call it quits on this whole relationship with Lindilly, and I don't think Lindilly realizes that. That's where Siza is. So any more flipping of the switch and playing of the games, that girl's gonna be out the door and he's gonna lose a good woman. At the end of the day, as Kai calls her, Kai calls Siza a good woman. And Lindelli needs to listen to those words, because at the end of the day, these people only had 3 weeks with the people who were not their partners. That was just the beginning of the honeymoon period. It weren't even into getting to know them properly. Like getting to know that person ins and outs after you've been with someone, say, for a year, 2 years, 3 years, something like that. Nah, it weren't like that. 3 whole fucking weeks. Do you know what I mean? We know Lindelli moves fast, but I don't think he moves that damn fast. So then we move into Kay and Kenya, and basically they're actually in a good space right now. They actually do seek to love each other and believe that they have a good relationship with each other. And this is why Siza, for me, for Kay, was a stopgap in regards to the situation. It was a break, and a welcome break from Kenya at the end of the day. So Kenya's speaking to him about whether he's going to be proposing or not, but Kay thinks that things need to be made up with his mama at the end of the day, because we all know what mama said about Kenya and the fact that she doesn't really abide Kenya. So Kenya needs to fix that relationship with his mother. It's kind of going to be hard because Kenya can pay lip service to it over internet, over FaceTime and stuff like that, because she's in Abu Dhabi. I think Kenya and Kay actually need to make the trip, if they can, to go meet his mother face to face and have that discussion where she can actually, in her face, talk to her and make her realise that actually she is apologetic in regards to the situation that's happened between themselves. So all I'm thinking of is Kenya's hurt, mama's son at the end of the day, and the relationship between a mother and a son is completely different. Let's just put that out there. It's completely different. So once you've hurt his mum, if he's telling you, you need to go make it right with my mama before I say anything, that is the expectation that you have to do. It's not, as Kenya put it, a hurdle to get over. You need to make things right with his mum, because at the end of the day, his mama is his life. Before the woman comes, his mama is his life. Do you know what I mean? So then it goes to Lindelli, and he's thinking that Siza and Kay were committed to each other. At the end of the day, I would say we didn't see much of Siza and Kay to say that they were fully committed with each other the way that Thabi and Lindelli were committed with each other. I think they had some kind of connection, but I don't think it was full-on emotional connection the way that Lindelli is saying he had with Thabi, and the way that Thabi is saying she had with Lindelli at the end of the day. I'm just like, how he can keep saying these things like it's an issue when he did the same thing with Thabi is beyond me. Like, absolutely beyond me, because all Lindelli is doing at the moment is pushing Siza away. And Siza's ready to jump off that plane without a parachute, without this man, because that's the space that she's in at the moment. So Kay ends up meeting with Lindelli, and to be fair, I think the whole conversation was hypocritical in regards of Lindelli. He's kind of thinking that he's losing Siza already, and I'm like, my guy, you are, but if you really want Siza, you need to fix that shit. Otherwise, do you know what? Let her go. Let her go. Kay's not going to leave Kenya. He's not going to leave Kenya for Siza. And Lindelli has the cheek to say to Kay that don't take my girl. I'm like, what planet are you on? Because you're all ready to take Genesis's girl. So how is that the pot calling the freaking kettle black at the end of the day? So now it's girls' night and it's guys' night again. I'm like, oh, here the fuck we go. Here we go, because this never ends. Wow, for these people. So Genesis wants to speak freely with Lindelli. Aiden replies that he's got an engagement ring for Courtney, which all the guys applaud him for, because Aiden is ready. Him ready. And you can see the tension between Siza and Thabi. Siza questions Kenya and asks her if she's ready to get married, where Kenya says yes. And Courtney basically says that she has little faith in the relationship between Kay and Kenya. I do too. At the end of the day, I really do. Their relationship is toxic. They should not be together, but something is keeping them together. Like, seriously, something is keeping them together. They should never be together. So Courtney basically says that Kay is wearing a dog leash and Kenya is walking him. So basically, Courtney is trying to say that Kenya is dog walking Kay. I don't know why she had to use the animal analogy, but here we go. Siza doesn't look convinced by any of Kenya's answers, basically. So I'm just like, you know what, my girl, you need to just leave them to it, because at the end of the day, Kay is literally showing you what he wants to show you and gone back to Kenya and showing her what he wants to show her. So just leave that toxicity to itself. That's where it's going to ever remain. Do you know what I mean? That's where it's going to remain. They are constantly going to be in each other's lives. Even if they were apart, Kay and Cam were apart, they will still be a part of each other's lives. That's how I'm seeing it. That is how I'm seeing it. So Kenya, of course, is going to make sure that Siza knows she will not be getting Kay. So stop thinking about him. So of course she continues to wax poetic about Kay. And basically she's talking about how they're getting back to a space of acknowledgement of love for each other. And I'm just like, toxic is as toxic does for them too. Like, seriously. Siza talks about how things are different. And in Kanye's VC, she was talking about how Siza is not ready and wants to have fun with these boys. And I'm like, my girl, are you Siza? Are you in her mind? Do you know exactly what she is thinking about at any given motherfucking time? Because I'm telling you, the reason, as I've already said, that Kenya has a bee in her bonnet with Siza is because she's a beautiful black woman who was with her handsome black man. That's the only reason why Kenya has a bee in her bonnet, because she wouldn't have a bee in her bonnet so much if Courtney had picked Kay. Let's just put it that way, because she was green lighting that one. She wanted Courtney to pick Kay, but when that did not happen, she was not happy. So then it moves on to Lindelli talking about his experience and how it's affected him emotionally and physically. And I'm like, do you not think it's affected Siza? Do you not think she's going through the same gamut of emotions? And this is why I say some of these people are too damn rotted selfish to be thinking about getting married to each other. Like, seriously, they need to leave it alone and work on the issues that they have at the end of the day. Because Lindelli is here like, he can stand up to these people that have been together for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7. You've been together with a girl for 6 rotted fucking months. You don't know Siza, and Siza don't know you. At the end of the day, you ain't allowed for that space and gap to happen for her to know you yet. But yet you bring her on the show and give her an ultimatum after 3 rotted months. Do you know what I'm saying? And then expect that this show will not expand your horizons and affect you in any certain way. But it won't just affect you, but it'll affect the person that you came with too. But Lindelli is not mindful of that aspect at all. So you see Thabi talking about Genesis and the fact that he's not accepted the link that she has or the connection that she has with Lindelli. And this is what I mean about how these people talk. Don't rephrase what it is. I think they think it and it comes out their mouth. Just don't rephrase it in order to soften the blow for the person that they're affecting sitting right there. Because as Thabi is talking, you can see that the words that she's saying is impacting Siza to the highest degree. And this is what I mean over intent versus impact. At the end of the day, your intention might not be to hurt Siza completely, but you are hurting her by the words that you are intentfully freaking saying at this moment in time. Because don't forget, Lindelli is her man. And this is why I say that Thabi has no thought process. Genesis tried to make her see the processes of why Siza would bring that present back and why it's not dutiful for her to speak about Lindelli in the presence of Siza in the way that she does. But Thabi's not seeing that because she's in selfish city at the end of the day. She's thinking about herself and her own feelings. So you see Genesis basically saying to the group that Thabi is not facing her emotions when it comes to Lindelli, but he doesn't want to get married to someone who is thinking of somebody else, which is true to the point. Why would you want to do that? Like, seriously? So Lindelli has the cheek to say that Genesis is scared of the fact that Thabi can connect with someone besides him, and that he needs to keep that in mind. And this is why I say I just can't with these people, because they're on a different level playing field. They're on a different playing field altogether, which does not make an ounce of sense right about now with the words that are coming out of their mouth. Because I'm like, Lindelli, do you not hear yourself? Because Siza is actually connected with someone outside of you too, so you need to be mindful of that fact too. Yeah. I just thought at this point, when it came to the girls, that either Kanya or Thabi was going to come for Siza. So it ended up being Thabi. Now, my thing is, in this situation, Thabi decided to bring up the fact how she felt slighted and disrespected by Siza for her bringing back the gift that she'd brought for Lindelli. Now, my thing is why would you sit there and bring that up in front of the girls? Because at the end of the day, Thabi thought that she would have the backing of some of those people up in there, namely Kanya, to say what she wanted to say, because she thought she could do this shit to Siza at the end of the day, rather than being respectful and taking Siza to the side and saying, no, you know what? When you brought that gift back, this is how it made me feel. Can you make me understand why you brought that gift back? No, Thabi had to have the whole conversation in front of the whole group. Siza held her own now. Siza did hold her own now. And Ruth had her back when she held her own with Thabi. Because Thabi was bullshitting to the madness. Because I'm just like, how dare you? How dare you wait until you have a girls' night, and literally champing at the bit to bring this shit out in front of all them girls when they didn't really need to know the situation that happened between you and Siza. You could have had that conversation privately, but you did not, because Thabi wanted the backing of everybody else. That's what she wanted. But she didn't get that. She was out on a limb by her rotted self. And to be fair, if I was Siza's friend, I would have sided with Siza, because at the end of the day, you could have had that conversation away from us. We didn't need to know that there was an issue between you two. Do you know what I'm saying? So for that, Thabi is in the wrong. So then you flip it back to Genesis. And Genesis actually took Lindelli to the side, away from the guys, to talk to Lindelli about how he felt slighted by Lindelli leaving a rotted teddy bear as a gift on a bed for his gal when he came back that night. There's the difference between Genesis and Thabi. Whereas Thabi just wanted the drama, but Genesis wanted to get down to the bare knuckles of the thing. And Lindelli actually ended up apologising to Genesis, because he realised the error of his ways. Because at the end of the day, as Siza said to Thabi, you had 3 whole weeks in order to exchange gifts. Why you wait until my time with my man to bring your ass to give him a gift, to make him remind you, to make him be reminded of the things that he had with you? Especially when it came to the message that was printed on a rotted bag. And if you watched it, you know what I mean, what was printed on that bag. Yeah, Thabi was hella disrespectful. Hella disrespectful. At least Lindelli owned his shit at the end of the day and realised the mistake he made in doing what he did. Because how are you going to leave a teddy bear on the bed with a note to somebody else's gal, knowing that they've gone back to start their 3 weeks worth of a marriage trial? And this poor Genesis had set everything up. So it does come out that all of the guys, bar Isaac, has slept with their women again, and reconnected with them sexually. So this is what I mean. How are you telling people that you've connected, Thabi and Lindelli, with each other emotionally, but yet you're still sleeping with your man? Because at the end of the day, if you really well and truly connected with that other person to the point where you're thinking, I don't know whether, I might move on with this other person, Your body will not allow you to connect sexually with the person that you're with. It just wouldn't. It would put a bar in place in regards to that, and that would be a conversation you'd have for another day. But it seems that all these men, all these women have had no problem reconnecting sexually with the people that they originally came with, and that's why I'm saying it's just a pile of dog shit at this moment in time. So you see Kanya asking Ruth what was her reason for giving Nala so much access to her body, and Ruth was honest in the point that she wanted to have sex. She was, because at the end of the day, Ruth was pissed at Isaac, and that's the only reason why she picked Nala, because she knew where it was going to go with Nala. Ruth knew where it was going to go with Nala, and that's the only reason why she picked him, because she was pissed at Isaac at that point in time. She, in her head, as I've already said, believed that her and Isaac were over. So she thought, fuck it, I have needs that need to be met. I'm going to shag this dude and be happy with it. And that's what she did. And she was honest, whereas days long when she told Kanya this. Now, why did Kanya take it upon herself to try and tell Ruth what she could do and not do with her body? Ruth put that gal in her place. Fully put that gal in her place, to the point that she shut her up with the words, "You sleep with men to get things from them." That's what she shut Kanya up with, because Kanya tried to say that Nala was a random man, and Ruth basically said, okay, if Nala was a random man, then Isaac was a random man that you decided to get naked in front of. Because at the end of the day, no matter what argument Kanya was trying to give to Ruth about Nala, it would be the same argument Ruth would give to her about Isaac. Kanya could not win that argument. So when Ruth dropped that bomb, everything went motherfucking silent, because it was like, yeah, shut your mouth, my girl. Don't get high and mighty with me, because I will just give you back the same kind of shit that you're giving me. At the end of the day, Ruth was telling Kanya, you ain't winning this one. I ain't Siza. I am not Siza, and I won't back down. So you either shut your mouth from now, or we'll keep going to the end with this until I get the last word in. That's where Ruth was. Ruth weren't playing. Ruth was not playing, and Kanya saw that. So Kanya at that point had to shut her mouth, like really just zip it, lock it, throw away the key. So after that night, you see Ruth and Isaac have a chat in terms of how the night went, and Ruth brings up exactly what Kanya was doing and what she basically said to Kanya. Isaac was like, right on. Like, he was happy. He was happy that she said that she did what she did, and he was kind of like, and that's my woman right there. So because Kanya needed to be told, Kanya needed to be put in her place. But then you see how Kanya tells it to Kay. Kanya embellishes. Kanya tells a whole different rotted story as to what the fuck happened, and I'm like, where did she get that from? Where did she get that from? Because Kanya has a true talent of rewriting the script of what did not happen and making it her truth. Basically, we see the next day we see Aiden and Courtney go and have breakfast with the parents. Parents have never met each other. Courtney has met Aiden's mom, and Aiden has met her parents, so they just want to see how things will go. She knows that Courtney is quite scared because she believes that her parents are quite forthright, basically, and with Aiden's indecisiveness, they are not going to like it very much. As it comes out, basically, the mum explains where Aiden's indecisiveness comes from, and it comes from his father basically giving him too much choice as a kid. So when Aiden had made a decision of what he wanted to do, the father would step in and say, is that really what you want to do? And basically mess with the choice that he'd made. But Aiden needs to try and work with that. So you see Courtney go off with Aiden's mum and have that chat with her, and you see Aiden stay and have the chat with Courtney's parents, where he was quite nervous. So Aiden does turn around and ask for Courtney's parents Courtney's hand in marriage, and they basically accepted that. He lets them know that he'd already got the engagement ring, that he was very decisive on this, and this is where the talk comes about in regards to Aiden actually getting a job, because I did not know this man did not have a job until this point. All I'm going to say that I did mention in my previous episode, but until this point, me don't know that this man there have a no job, and that it was literally Courtney holding up the fort for them to, and I don't know for how long, but the hope is that Aiden now will progress forward and get himself a job. Fingers crossed that will work out for both of them, because I think Aiden and Courtney came into this experiment with the right intentions at the end of the day in how it was going to work for them and how it was going to change situations for them. So then Ruth actually gets to meet Isaac's fucking family. I'm like, at long motherfucking last, because Isaac could not leave this experiment without getting Ruth to meet his family and having a discussion with them. And it comes to a point when his sister turns around and says, they didn't even know about Ruth. For 2 whole years this man was in a relationship and they didn't even know about Ruth. What came out from that relationship is there is a lot of discussion, I should say, is there is a lot of gaps between Isaac and Ruth. There is a bridge that needs to be walked along between Isaac and Ruth, because they are not at the same level at all when it comes to relationship, and especially in terms of the expectations of what Ruth has as a husband should do for her. Like Ruth, for example, Ruth is not saying that Isaac can't go out and beat Isaac as he says, but what she's expecting is, you need to show me this attention. You need to show me this love. You need to meet my needs, so I'm not then looking for somebody else to meet my needs before you fuck off out with your friends and do whatever it is the fuck that you do with your people then. Ruth is basically saying she's not stopping Isaac from going out and do what he wants to do with his friends. Not necessarily sleeping with other people or flirting with other people, but you know what? Having that time to himself to be Isaac with his friends. But at the end of the day, if you are getting married to someone, they need to be priority in your thoughts, and this is not what Isaac is giving. So for me, I don't know how far these people are going to get, and that's what kind of came out from Ruth meeting his family, because it came open that, you know what, Isaac has a different view of how things are going to work between him and Ruth. So then it comes to the final nights of the couples being together and everybody's having their dates. Courtney and Aiden, I don't really need to know much about. Courtney is in regards to talking about Aiden having to deal with his fear of marriage, but she don't realise that this man has got her a ring and already asked for her parents' hand in marriage. So I think that fear is well and truly moved on. But we shall see, because you know what? You never know whether this man will ask for the hand in marriage, give her the engagement ring, and then literally be procrastinating on when this marriage is going to happen. But we shall see what happens there. We go to Ruth and Isaac, and they're basically talking about how things have been challenging, but it's been good. Basically, Isaac makes a last toast to the beginning of beautiful things, and I'm just like, as Ruth says, I think they're in love with the idea of love and being together, but after meeting his family, it pulls into question a lot of issues between the both of them and whether they can actually work through them. So you see Siza and Lindelli, and Siza basically tells Lindelli that it's been 1 week of pain, which was hurtful, and sadness, but then 2 weeks of bliss. And Lindelli believes that him bringing Siza to the ultimatum was a good idea. I don't think it necessarily was, but hey ho, we'll see how things work out for them. You see Genesis and Thabi looking at old pictures, and they're reminiscing about their relationship together. Genesis does feel insecure due to the uncertainty of Thabi, and especially in the fact that he knows that she's emotionally connected to another man and how that's going to work out for him. Genesis is scared of losing Thabi and basically wants to fight for her. But I don't know if Thabi wants to marry him though. That's where my view is at this moment in time. And basically Kai and Kanya are basically reminding each other of what they are to each other, and I'm just like, that's bare jokes between the both of them, because she's hard work. And I think he just loves the situation that he's in at the end of the day. Basically, Kanye is saying that her bringing him to the ultimatum is not about pressuring him. Yes, it was. It was about pushing him to where she wanted him to be. I honestly don't think that Kay really wants Kenya, but it's going to be down to Kay to kind of get to an enlightening experience to basically say that, you know what, this is not what I want. So it's up to Kay to get to that situation. No one outside of that is going to be able to tell him any differently. He's going to make that step himself. And basically we know that it's one day to the ultimatum. Everybody's packing to go back to their own spaces to think and gain clarity on what happens next. So Kay ends up meeting with Siza, and she's excited to meet up with him and check up on with him. I think that's dangerous grounds altogether, and I don't know whether that's going to feed into the decision making of Kay and what he does next when it comes to Kenya. So he basically informs her that things have been up and down between him and Kenya. And he says that he's learned to love someone unconditionally. And I'm like, okay, so, you know, you're letting Siza know exactly where your thoughts and feelings are at this moment in time. I think that was, again, his way of telling Siza that he loves Kenya and isn't really going to separate himself from that situation. So Siza basically says that Lindeli is trying. And Kay feels that Lindeli is one of the luckiest guys, as Siza is an amazing woman, and she is. The way that she conducted herself and portrayed herself within this experiment, she is a lovely woman. So she asked Kay, "Are you over me?" Now that's a direct question which Kay failed to freaking answer in my books, because at the end of the day, Kay was saying that he is not over the good experiences that him and Siza had. And Siza, he then asked the same question as Siza, "Are you not over me?" So she turned around and said basically that she isn't. So she directly answered that question, that she's not fully over that the experiences of Kay. So Kay turned around and said, okay then, if you don't say yes to Lindeli and I don't say yes to Kenya, is there an opportunity to keep things going? And I was like, wait a damn minute, my guy. Wasn't you just literally having Kenya on your lap, telling this girl how much you freaking loved her and how much you were going to work things out with her, that you couldn't see yourself without Kenya, and made a whole list of how you couldn't see yourself without this girl? And yet you're asking another girl, if you say no, is it going to work out? No, Siza is not your freaking stopback gap. She's not your plan B at the end of the day. You're either choosing her or you're not choosing her. Not do that to the girl. So it does end on Siza just smiling. She don't answer his question in the slightest, which I think, thank the fuck God that she did not, because Kay is full of shit to ask her that question, to literally ask her that question anyway, when he didn't actually answer her question when she asked it first. So that is where the episode ended. As I say, I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. So please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on doing videos. Please comment, like, share, do all the good things that you do. Because again, I am on the road to 1K. 1K. And I'll be back very quick soon with the next video. Peace out.